Safe and secure from all alarms. Leaning, leaning, leaning on the everlasting arms. Leaning on the everlasting arms.
The day that I was waiting for a bus to go to work, and my whole world just changed at that particular time. If you're familiar with the artist Picasso, how he would paint, that's how everything looked. The birds were up in my left-hand corner, and then in the middle corner was the cars, and the bottom was the street. And things were all over. It was just a puzzle as I was waiting for the bus. And I staggered on home, and I told my wife and children that there was something seriously wrong. And from then on, we found out that through a process of 6 or 7 months, going to different doctors, then I found out that, yeah, it was MS. That's when I knew. I was sitting with the neurologist, and after he had me do a series of tests, EEG, which is an electrode that measure the response of the muscle to the brain, the signal from the muscle to the brain. And he looked over my MRI, and he said, "I'm sorry to tell you, Mr. Lopez, you have multiple sclerosis." And I haven't heard of it. And I said, well, how long do I have to live? And he said, "You're going to outlive me, but it will debilitate you." Because at the time he told me, I was walking around, the only thing I had was the double vision, which has, since that time, it has corrected itself. With different medications and steroids, hospitalizations. It steadied my eyesight. I was so depressed. You see me now, I'm clean shaven, and my hair looked a little decent. I had a whole bushel full of hair with my beard down my chest. And I was really depressed. The more I think about it, I say, oh my goodness, how depressed could I have been? Here I knew Jesus, and I had a church, pastoring a church, telling people how good he was, but I was so depressed. And then the news of the diagnosis really changed my life. But after years of having the diagnosis and having MS, I come to realize, look, this is my forte in life. I better deal with this thing. And that's what I'm doing. I'm dealing with it the best I know how. I have to continue preaching. I have to continue being myself, being the joyful person that I am. I just accept it now. And it was a time I wouldn't have accepted it. I would say, no, not me. I'm not going to accept this. It's not me. I won't accept it. But now I accept it. And because I say I accept it, I'm now more able to cope with the situation. As I said before, I got to go on. I got to continue ministering the Word of God. I got to continue being me. I know it might sound fairy tale-ish. I know it's not a word. But that's how I am. It's real to me. My life has dramatically changed because of this disease. This disease has made me know me, I wouldn't have known myself. Now I know myself. Well, I'm knowing myself. I'm learning myself. What I'm really about. What I really like. What I don't like. I've learned to be a real person. If something hurts, I'll cry. If something's funny, I'll laugh. There was a time I used to try to mask that. I wouldn't allow people to know who I really was. Now I'm glad to tell people who I am. And I'm not defined, as I said before, by MS. I say that I'm a person diagnosed with MS, but MS does not have me. It does not have me. And I pray and I hope, I think that way for the rest of my life, that it doesn't have me, doesn't define me. Help us to be extensions of your love.
Yes.
And to touch every one of them by saying hello, by a touch on their shoulder, by being kind. Whichever way you want us to be a blessing, help us to be a blessing. And God, we ask this in Jesus' mighty name.